So, there's been a lot of sensationalist fervor recently about the SpaceX rocket crashing into the moon, and it's kind of weird to see it all portrayed as this is weird or this is different and that this has never happened before and that this is littering on the moon and all that. Now, I'm not like defending SpaceX or anything here, but I do like to point out that things crash into the moon all the time, and it's actually quite normal to smash spacecraft upper stages into the moon. Like, this isn't the first time this has happened intentionally. In fact, during the Apollo missions, from Apollo 13 to Apollo 17, they smashed the upper stages of the Saturn V into the moon intentionally to do seismic data. So we've already been crashing very large vehicles into the moon. And even before that, like the first object to reach the moon from Earth was Luna 2 by the Soviet Union, and it did not soft land or go into orbit or anything like that. It just went right into the surface, like it was basically a missile from the Earth to the Moon, and it collided. In fact, that one was made to I think that one scattered a bunch of Soviet medallions on the lunar surface. Like it had a ball in it that was made to fragment and explode just before impact. Or am I thinking of a later Luna? I'm pretty sure that was Luna 2 had one of those. If not, it was other ones. But either way, there has been things intentionally scattered on the moon. And when something impacts the moon at that velocity, not much of it survives. Like the Saturn the Saturn V upper stages were just completely gone. Like there's craters on the moon where they hit, but there aren't like debris fields from them of recognizable bits of rocket because the speed at which they go and the amount of energy released on impact is pretty high. Like the Falcon, what was it, a Falcon 9? The SpaceX rocket stage that crashed into the moon. I doubt you'd find anything recognizable from it on the moon. You'd find the crater, you'd find rock and stuff and ejecta, but you're going to be hard pressed to find actual bits of the rocket. And even if you did, it'd probably be fused into the crater. Like it's not really littering at this point because it's less littering than it is than things burning up in the atmosphere is. Like satellites burning up into the upper atmosphere is honestly a bigger issue than crashing into the moon. I think Starlink is a huge issue in this regard because not only is it really really crappy for the night sky, but every time those burn up, they release aluminum oxide into the upper atmosphere, which is not great for the ozone and all of that. So I don't know. It seems that like a lot of people who are really really upset about a rocket crashing into the moon are they're the best way to put it is like SpaceX fanboys don't actually care about space. They like the aesthetic. They do not care about space. Um, when Artemis 2 flew to the moon and didn't have ultra HD cameras and the launch live stream had difficulties, there were a lot of SpaceX people who thought that that made it a really bad mission and that it was really crappy and that NASA failed because the cameras are bad and blah blah blah. And that's just like those are people who do not care about space. They only care about the aesthetic and the vibe, but they don't actually care about the science or what it means to explore space. And the people who are upset about the rocket crashing into the moon are kind of the same. They don't actually care about the environment or littering or anything like that. They just want to be mad about something. And yeah, Elon's a very easy target. He brings it upon himself. It is incredibly easy to dislike Elon Musk. In fact, most normal people do because he is incredibly unlikable. But getting mad at a rocket crashing into the moon just because it's associated with him feels a bit more knee-jerk reaction than genuine actual concern. I don't know. It seems weird. A lot of the news articles about it that I've seen are all just sensationalist. Like they're just trying to get clicks, and they're trying to drum up emotions to get clicks, because the more clicks they get, the more money they make. And the one emotion that's the easiest to prey on is anger and upset and fear. In fact, that's Meta's entire business strategy. Like, Facebook is not a social media platform. Its whole existence is to make you angry or upset or scared so that you keep clicking on things and they get ad revenue. And a lot of like news articles or news publications are the same way. They just want to make you mad to make money. So, like, you can be mad about various things. The fact the rocket was uncontrolled and was just like junk in Earth orbit, you can be mad about that. Leaving stuff in Earth orbit uncontrolled and unpowered is not great. When China had that large rocket upper stage that was just tumbling in orbit uncontrolled, that wasn't great because that posed risks to things in orbit and even on the ground, depending on where it came down. So, like, littering in orbit is a problem. Um, Dumping garbage into the upper atmosphere for no reason is a problem. Dumping garbage into the Indian Ocean is a problem. But smashing a booster into the moon is really not a problem because it's mostly getting vaporized at that point. I mean, there probably are some bits here and there, but it's largely getting destroyed on impact, and it's just being turned into metal on the moon. And the moon has a lot of metal already. It's rock and metal. So smashing things into the moon and converting them into fused bits of metal mixed with rock, that really isn't a problem. Now, if you do actually dislike littering, NASA littered on the moon a lot because before the Apollo astronauts left the moon, they would dump their garbage out of the spacecraft onto the surface in bags. So there's actually a ton of trash, like actual trash, on the moon, including bags of human waste. Like, they brought some of the waste back to Earth to do like medical studies, but there's still bags of actual human vomit and feces on the moon, and food packets, like food wrappers, plastic food wrappers. There's a lot of trash on the moon. At every Apollo landing site, there's just there's bags of garbage. That actually is technically littering, because those aren't like they're not subjected to the forces of impacting the moon, so they're not like converted to base materials and scattered about the regolith. They're just actual bags of trash sitting on the surface of the moon, completely intact. So if you're mad about littering, that's something to be kind of annoyed about. Even I'm slightly annoyed by that. I get why they did it. It's for space savings or mass savings, I mean, but still, it feels weird to go to the moon and leave trash. I kind of subscribe to the notion of you bring back everything you take in. Like, unless you're leaving like equipment on the moon, that's fine. I don't care about that. But bring your trash back. Don't just leave trash there. It just seems it's kind of gross. And I know it's mass savings and fuel economy and all that jazz, but it really wouldn't have hurt that much to bring back the garbage with them. I'm just saying. But anyways, I just wanted to bring that up because I've seen a lot of people who think that a booster crashing into the moon means that we have ruined the moon, that the moon is now sullied with garbage, and that the humanity is a cancer and we should all be wiped out. And I really hate the misanthropy that comes along with it, because just because a billionaire is an awful person doesn't mean that our entire species deserves to be wiped out, or just because we crashed a rocket into the moon doesn't mean that the human race is the worst thing ever and that we deserve nothing but death. That is such a horrible mindset. Just in general, like for your own mental health, people who think that humanity is a cancer are they're not going to be happy. I mean, humans can be really, really crappy. I'm not denying that. But as a whole, as a species, we don't deserve death. We just need to like do better, and we progressively are doing better as the centuries go on. It doesn't seem like it, but I promise you we are. So, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Go out, look at the moon. It's pretty. It'll make you feel better, actually. Honestly, just looking up at the stars makes you feel better. I recommend it.